Well, just had my first, I would say my first bad experience with a client. Like the first one I'll probably like remember forever. Like a good friend of mine always said, not all money is good money. And I'm not even mad about this one because I'm just not even mad about it. So a woman called me last week, and I went and did an estimate on her house. It was an exterior, easy house to paint. It was, I wish I had 100 of those a year. I'd do them every day. 2-3 day job, easy. It's 1 level floor, 2-bedroom house. You go in one day, you prep everything. You go in the next day and you spray everything. Maybe you need a third day for whatever reason. Easy money. So this lady's house is made of wood, and the problem was that whoever painted the house prior didn't apply the right materials and or just wear and tear. There was a lot of paint chipping. So I don't know when the last time this house was painted, but it wasn't last year. So when you have wood siding, you have, wherever the wood or wherever the paint is chipping and peeling, you're going to have like a big gap right there. Like it's going to be an uneven surface. So what you do with that is one of two things. One, the more expensive route and the right way to do it is you replace the whole siding, or at least replace the board where it's bad. And I told this lady this, and I said, but if you want me to do it, I can make it look really good. It's going to look really, really good. It's not going to be perfect because it's not replacing it, but it's going to look really, really good. And painting the house compared to re-siding the whole house is at least half the price cheaper, at least. I wasn't even charging this lady a lot. I gave her a good deal because I'm a fair guy. Let's just say that. And on top of that, my schedule is extremely booked right now. For a reason, because I do good work. I know what I'm doing. I'm not like saying that in a cocky way. I'm just saying I know what I'm doing. Like this lady's house was a walk in the park. It really was. But me being a nice guy, I can tell she really wanted her house painted fast because she put a bunch of like color splotches on the front of the house to see what color she wanted. Greens and blues and grays and reds and yellows. So like her front of her house really didn't look that appealing. And then when I went there, looking back in hindsight, I should have looked at it as a red flag. But she was talking bad about her neighbors and how, they are going to talk shit, I guess, maybe about how her house looks if it's not done quick. So, my guys are already tired as shit. We've been working over 2 months straight with no days off. Weekends, sun up to sundown some days. Just trying to get shit done because, we're booked. And we want to make our clients happy. And we're in the growth phase where like we're trying to figure things out and prices are going up a little by little, and I got to bring in more guys. Like today I brought in a third new guy to try him out, which I liked him. I told him come back next week. But anyway, last week I sent one guy there to do the prep work because you don't need, like for a job like this, just one guy. Come prep everything. Power wash the whole house. Once you start wherever you started power washing, by the time you finish going around the whole house and power wash, wherever you started, that's going to be usually dry, so you can start the other prep work, like scraping off the loose paint that didn't come off when you power washed. And then, so this is what you do. You power wash everything, you scrape all the extra loose paint off, and then somebody's calling me right now. And then after you do that, you sand down where the wood is kind of rough to get it a little bit more smooth. Then you prime it with the Primer RX because that's made for that kind of stuff to fill in that gap. And then if there's any more gap, you put in a little bit of that wood filler. And then you come back and you sand everything down, make it smooth. It's a process, but it's easy. So when my guy was there last time, he went and did everything, but he didn't have enough time to finish. So that's why I brought in the third guy today to just help finish. Because what we have to paint is we have to paint the soffit and the fascia all white. That's the area above the gutters. And then the whole body is going to be blue. And then the trim on the body, like around the door frames, around the garage door or garage door frame, around, you know, around all the windows, it's all going to be painted white. But the soffit and the fascia, we were going to get that out the way and spray it all white, while the other one guy was going to do that, while two other guys is going to go around the house and finish prepping. So by the time he finishes all the soffit and fascia, that's almost dry. All the prep work would be done, and then we just start masking off everything, all three guys at once, remove the gutters or the downspouts, spray everything, go around, spray it one more time, 2 coats, and then we'll, at the last hour of the job, we were going to try to finish this all day today. It would have been like a 10 to 12 hour day. And then the last like 2 hours, we would have went around the windows and the doors and painted all the trim 2 times. The easy part, the details. I go to Sherwin-Williams to pick up the paint. I drop off my 3 guys. They all show up. They all start working. They all start the prep work and then getting the sprayer ready for the soffit and the fascia. I go get the paint. It's tinted already. You can't return that. And then I get to the job site, or right before I get back to the job site, I get a text from the woman saying, I need to pre-approve all the prep work prior to you painting. In my head, that I'm already running on fumes, so I'm like, what the fuck? Like I said, not to say this in a cocky or whatever way, but like, if you hire me and you looked at my reviews and my past work and my portfolio, I know what I'm doing. Once you hire me, I don't need the customer to go around managing the job for me or dictating how we do things, because I do things a certain way. And you hired me to do things how I do it based on whatever prior knowledge of me you had, or whatever the representation that I gave you when you first met me, like letting you know I know what I'm doing. And in my head, I already have a game plan how this is going. My schedule is so tight. I need to get this job done today. I have one guy already planning on to start painting the soffit and fascia while 2 guys are finishing the prep. I don't have the time to have everybody working on the prep and then wait for you to walk around and inspect and approve, and then we start painting. I just don't have the time for that, and that's not how it works. And then she came up, when I got out the truck, and I told her, I tried to explain, I was like, so what are we looking for here? I showed her on the work that was already done. I was like, this looks really good to me. And like visually, if you didn't know how painting works, it might look like shit to you because you have your prior painted wood, which kind of does look like shit because it's faded and wasn't painted right. And then you might have a patch here where it's white and not fully sanded down yet. And then you have the rest of your paint. So that might look like shit to you, but we're not done yet. Like, I wasn't ready to start throwing paint on the body yet, you know? And she's over here like, well, this looks like shit. And what about this spot? What about that spot? Like, we're not done yet. Like, you haven't even gave me the chance to get to this point. And then she made the comment. It was right then and there. She was like, well, do I need to pay you for what you already did and hire another painter? In my head, I'm like, hell yeah. Because if we're already at this point now, while I'm doing the prep work, and I plan on finishing today, a couple $1,000s worth of work, I'm not going to get all that done. And then at the end of it, you're like, this looks like shit for whatever reason. Because I can already tell, like, you're nitpicking at every little thing prior to me even finishing the prep work. And I already told you, and I even have proof of this in the text messages, because like I cover my ass on everything just in case like a customer, like I never had an experience like this, but this is why I do it, for an experience like this. I even told you perfectly in the text messaging and verbally when I first met you, the wood's never gonna be perfect unless you replace it the way you're supposed to do it. But it's gonna look good as shit, because there's guys that'll come in there and just paint all over everything and it's gonna look like shit. And some people are okay with that. Lipstick on a pig. But when I would have been done with it, it would have almost looked like a brand new board. Maybe like 85 to 90% perfect. You know, you might have had an imperfection here or there, but you got to replace the board. It's not my fault that some places are rotted wood or whoever applied it before didn't apply it correctly. But my job is to come in there and do the best that I can do. And in Wisconsin, I'm one of the best painters around because I don't think that I know everything. If there's something that I don't know how to do, I go to my rep, I talk it out, I figure it out. Painting is painting. You just have to make sure you're using the right products on the right surfaces and doing, the money is in the details. Like the prep work, you have to do good prep work, and that's what we do. So she asked me how much that she wants to pay me, and I said, you could pay me $500. And then also on top of that, I already have your paint tinted, and I need to get paid for that because that's not returnable. And then whoever the other painter is that you say you want to hire, they have the paint here, and you get to keep my discount for the paint because I get a nice discount on paint. So I told my guys, like, they were all happy. We're all happy for a day off. I'm not going to be surprised if I get a bad review from this. This will be like my first. I have like 3 bad reviews already, but they're from fake companies that were trying to target me to like pay to remove bad reviews, which I'm not going to pay you because as soon as you pay them, you're going to start getting more bad reviews, and because they know that you're gullible and going to pay for that shit. But if you look at their, if you click on the accounts for the people that left them, they're like somewhere in New York on the East Coast, which just sucks. But this might be the first bad review that I get because they're not happy, which I understand. But it's because of how they interacted with the person that they trusted to hire. Like, you didn't even give me the chance to finish the job. Like, a lot of times when you paint too, like I go into an interior, I always tell the customer prior, like, don't judge us by the first coat, because sometimes you have to paint everything 2-3 times, and if you paint everything one coat and you have to leave for the day, it's gonna look like shit. It's gonna look like uneven and splotchy. That second coat is why you have to do a second coat, because it locks all the color in. So I'm not mad at it. I'm glad we got a day off. I'm gonna go do something with the wife, go to a fern festival, and she wants to buy like plants or whatever. And then tomorrow I'm gonna relax. Like, we haven't had a day off in fucking forever, so time to relax and get back at it at Monday. But I'm glad I found a third new guy. He looked happy. Like, I like guys that come to work that are smiling, and that's what he came out the truck smiling. So good energy. Hope everybody has a good weekend. This was a good excuse to make a TikTok and a YouTube video, and I'm out.